Hey guys, this is Lisa with your Lyrical Aspirations Inspirational Message. Today I want to talk to you guys about self-accountability. That's right, being accountable to yourself, being responsible for your choices and your actions. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because self-discipline and self-accountability are the primary methods to use to improve your life. And I want you to improve your life. And so we must focus on ourselves and what we can do because we can't change anybody else but ourselves. And so when we look at being more accountable, we have to first take on a couple of changes to our mentality. And that is when we look at our lives and we identify something that we want or need to change, we have to understand that we must be that change. We can't wait on anybody else to implement change in our lives. And the example that I'm going to give for that would be, let's say that you're at work and there's a process that you have to use on a regular basis for your job duties, and it's an inefficient process. You feel like it could be improved upon. So you go to the leaders that be and you say, hey, I think that this process could be done differently. And they kind of look at you and say, yeah, it probably could be done differently. But they're not going to do anything to change that process. It's not affecting them on a daily basis. It's affecting you on a daily basis. So it is up to you to identify what that process change would be and to implement it as needed. Same thing applies with your life. When you identify something that needs to be changed, you make the change. It's your responsibility. And when we talk about accountability to ourselves, one of the biggest things that we have got to do is get out of the victim mentality. Man, when you are trapped inside a victim mentality, it's like hitting a wall or a speed bump in your road at the very least. And the reason why I say that is because a victim mentality never moves. It stays trapped in what it was victimized by, whether it be thoughts or patterns, whatever it is. But the victim mentality never moves forward. It stays stagnant. And when we look at our lives and we're trying to be more accountable, we have to accept, and it may not be easy to accept what I'm going to say, but we have to accept that who you are and where you are is all a result of the choices that you have made. And I understand that there are people that have come into your life at times that have knocked you off your foundation. I mean, that have just totally turned your world upside down, totally pushed you backwards from goals. But it was still your responsibility on how you handled the aftermath of that. And like I just said about the victim mentality, if you're not moving forward, you are staying stagnant. And so how you responded to the things that have happened to you, how you digested what has happened to you is all in your control. And when things happen to you that are not pleasant, that make you feel horrible inside, you have to be able to take a step back and really look at it and say, what am I gaining? What did I learn from this situation? That is pulling yourself out of a victim mentality and putting yourself right on the survivor pathway. And so make sure that you are accepting that how you respond to something has everything to do with accountability. Now, we've talked about that mentality that you have to have in order to even bridge the discussion of being accountable to yourself. So now I just want to tell you a couple of things that you can do on a regular basis that will help you become more accountable to yourself. It's not easy to hold ourselves accountable. It's so easy to make an excuse for anything. So how do we hold ourselves accountable? Well, the very first thing that you have to do is you have to identify what it is you want your life to look like, what it is that you want to change, what do you want to keep the same, and then come up with that action plan. So if you want to have a college degree, what's your game plan? I mean, are you going to join the next semester, the semester after? What's the game plan? What's the action plan? And the reason why it's so important to be clear about what it is that you want to achieve or accomplish or see in your life is because you're going to be on one of two ends of the spectrum in this life. You're either going to be in this failure loop or you're going to be in the winner's effect. And the failure loop is just setting yourself up for failure consistently over and over. And that's setting goals that you yourself know are not achievable. And so here's an example. Say that you have been eating fast food every single meal for the last 10 years. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I got to get my life together. I got to start eating more healthy. I want to lose weight. I got to do better. And then you go to the strictest diet on the market. I'm talking about no carbs, no sugar. I don't know. You might have to drink liquids for the first 60 days. I don't know. Let's just say you go to an extreme diet. Here's the thing. Are you really going to be able to maintain that strict diet? Or should you have given yourself smaller goals so that you don't feel like a failure the first time you have carbs? Like a week after you started the diet. And then you don't even want to do the diet anymore because now you feel like you failed and you can never do it. So are you setting realistic goals and action plans, or are you setting goals that are going to keep you in a failure loop, just consistently failing over and over? Now, I want you to get into the mentality of the winner's effect. And the winner's effect, all right, I'm going to tell it like this. You know the Super Bowl champions? Well, once they won the Super Bowl, that next season, when that football team comes back, man, unless something severe has happened to that team, they are coming back like the champions they are. I'm talking about they are coming back and beating everybody because they are in a winner's mentality. They believe that they are champions because they are. They believe that they are winners, and so they perform that way. They hold themselves accountable like a champion does. And that's where you want to find yourself if you truly want to hold yourself accountable. You need to find your way into that winner's effect. And once you find your way there, there is no stopping you then. You are going to be motivated to go out here and not only accomplish your dreams, but to hold yourself accountable to every single thing that you set up for yourself to do. Now, when we start to hold ourselves accountable, I want us to keep in mind that we really do need to expand our minds. So if there is something out there on the internet, or maybe through other people, maybe through schooling, whatever it is, to help you be more accountable to yourself, to help you achieve your goals, by all means, go out there and investigate it. Knowledge is power. And when we talk about knowledge, we are talking about motivation. And when you talk about motivation, you are ready to be accountable to yourself at that point. But not only that, but as you're going through your life, you're going to research, you're going to expand your knowledge, but you got to keep some track of your progress. You have to make sure that you are understanding that you are progressing. And sometimes you don't know it unless you see it. So as an example, if you want to lose weight and you go weigh yourself every 2 weeks, oh man, when you see those numbers dropping, it gives you motivation. I mean, you might even do an extra workout on that weigh-in day because you feel so motivated. And that's exactly what I mean, is track your progress. And if you're going to track your progress, well then, it's going to follow suit that you need to have a reward program in place. And your rewards to yourself don't need to be massive. But in the case of losing weight, let's just say that you set a reward system that every 5 pounds that you lose, you get yourself a treat of some sort. And it doesn't have to be a food item. It could be a clothing item because now you're losing weight, so you might need new clothes. Whatever it is, set up a reward system so that you can feel accomplished. Because at the same time of feeling accomplished, you are holding yourself accountable. So before I let you guys go today, I'm going to say one phrase. I want you to hold on to it and use this in your journey to your own accountability. And that is, personal accountability is the very first step to personal success. So again, personal accountability is the very first step to your personal success. And today, I want you to step up on that step. And I want you to get that much closer to the successes that you have in your mind and in your heart. Now, with that said, guys, I want you to go out here, make this an amazing week, and make sure that you come back and check me out.